right, I am going to the coastal trail to check things out and see how things are out there, see if I could ride my bike on the trail. Well, I'm at this parking area pretty close to the Earthquake Park, just down the road from Earthquake Park parking lot. And yeah, I was just wondering who would come down here and use these really nice bike trails and leave their dog in the vehicle. Poor little guy didn't get out to enjoy the trails. That's the whole point of bringing a dog out here, right? Is to take it for a nice walk on these really gorgeous trails out here on the coastal trail. Anyway, I am out here to see if the ice has melted. A segment of ice in the shaded area where you couldn't ride a bike because you'd crash, or if you walked, you needed cleats. So I'm gonna go and check that area out and see if it had melted. So let's do this. Poor doggy dog. Geez, that's such a shame that the people come out here to the coastal trail and they don't bring their dog for a walk. Poor little guy. That's the whole point of bringing a dog out to the coastal trail, is to get him exercise, get him out of the house or the car, and bring him for a nice long walk. Well, it's super windy out here. There might be some noise, wind noise on the mic on my phone, but I need to get out here, find out whether that ice has melted, because I'd really like to start riding my bike on the coastal trail. Still have to dress warm. The wind is pretty chilly, but you'll still be able to get out. The wind is coming from the southwest. So far it's looking really nice though. But further along this trail, there was really thick ice, and it's an area that's in the shade. So hopefully it's gone, and could come out here and ride my bike. Well, we're coming up on the Earthquake Park parking lot. This is just a visitor information area about Earthquake Park. They have different things you can read regarding the earthquake in 1964. And maybe at some point I'll walk you through that. But right now I just want to check out the trail to see if that thick ice is gone. And more than likely it is, because in the past they did have what looked like a little bobcat out here. I didn't see the bobcat. I only seen the markings on the snow and ice before when I first came out here. But I'm thinking the trails are good. Because this right here was the area that was super, super thick. That had thick ice all the way down the trail. And you couldn't walk down or walk back up, really. You needed cleats on your shoes. But now it looks like it's all good. Looks like the coastal trail is completely dry and nice. This was the area of my concern right here. And now that that is completely dry, yeah, people can come out here and go biking for sure. And jogging in this area and not have to wear cleats in your shoes. It's just nice to get out. It is just nice to get out and enjoy the fresh air. You can see a runner coming up on us up here, so it's good that people are using the trail again as they should. This won't land, but it'll evaporate. This area coming up on the coastal ocean area, this definitely looks like it had been plowed by the little bobcat. So looks like they got rid of the ice and this is just what's remaining. So yay! And now we will see a bunch of ducks out here in all these little swamps. There's normally quite a few out here, but it might be that their population has declined due to the bird flu, the bird virus that's been going around. There's not a lot of ducks out here lately. Usually this place is full of ducks. As I walk along the path. There's a lot of area for maybe they're unaware that the water's open. No, that can't be true. Ducks are ducks. They find the open water. Still just a slight bit of ice, but there's still open water for the ducks to come out here. It's just such a beautiful day. Slightly overcast, but still very beautiful. Aircraft there, looks like a beaver. Definitely worthy of getting the bike out and going for some bike rides. Just dress warm because it is chilly still. But it's so much nicer than the first two times that I came out here checking the trails. It was way nicer. Not a lot of people out here. Not sure why that is the case. Much nicer to get out and breathe the fresh air as opposed to, staying inside a building. Does the body and mind wonders to enjoy the outdoors. Fresh air, the birds, some areas that are still icy, but for the most part, you'd be able to skip by this real easily and bike and not fall. It's not solid ice anymore. There shouldn't be any bears down here. There's no food down here for them to eat, so normally they come down here during the fall, and I think it might be a passageway for them to get from point A to point B. So they come through here during the fall time. Although the bears are coming out and rummaging, they're finding food. But yeah, they are coming out now, so you do have to be careful. But not down here on the coastal trail, I don't believe. Like I said earlier, they don't come down here this time of the year because there's no food down here for them. But fall time, they will be traveling through here to get to another location. I remember this area right here. It's a big dip when you're going fast on a bike. You could really feel it. But because of frost heaving on the trail, the freeze-thaw cycle of the water underground, and it'll push and crack the concrete, causing problems, but see more and more people out exercising, which is great. A couple of runners, a couple of people walking dogs, and just a couple of people out walking in general. But not a lot. Not a lot of people out here. You can smell the decomposing leaves and branches and such. You know how that is during the fall time? Springtime. It smells like earth. It smells like the earth with all this decomposed material from lying on the ground over the winter. It sure feels good to be out here. Just chilly though. Definitely wear warm gear if you do come out running. In regard to your body might be warm, the core, but wear a hat or have one, or a headband at least, and gloves, because it might be 35 degrees right now, 36, 37. It's still chilly, but if you're running, then you should be okay. But yeah, I'd still wear some gear just to not get sick. There's nothing worse than catching a cold during the spring. Everybody's out enjoying the beautiful weather, the sunny weather that does come around, and you're inside the house sick. So that's always no fun whatsoever. And there's always a cold that goes around this time of the year because a lot of the people are not, wanting to wear outdoors gear still. They're like, oh, spring, I'm ready for it, bring it on. So anyway, this part right here, looks like it is it's not melted. Yeah, that's where I came from, up there, where you see that tower. Way over there, not really that far. Right over there, that's where I walked from. That's where the parking space is. I'll try to go a little bit farther. But, so, I imagine the people, the trails people, had just been waiting for this area to melt on its own because it's right by the ocean. But it still has a lot of shade throughout the day. So this area is still covered with snow. Yeah, here's a fat tire bike. Really nice. They can ride in this sloppy mess, or ride on the beach, or what have you, on the sand. Fat tires are really nice. So I'm a little surprised that they are still waiting for this area to melt on its own. These guys have dogs over there. They are on leashes, so looks like an Akita and another big dog. A big white dog. Hopefully that guy can manage his dogs. He does have both of them on a, where is he? He does have both of them on a leash. So, at least they're on a leash. Everybody has a dog out here. You know, like massive number of people out here walking their dogs. The problem that I have with dogs during the summer, when I'm riding my bike out here, going pretty fast, and I can't stop when they will walk in front of me. So it's important for dog owners to keep their dogs on a leash and close or in front of them or in back of them, but not strung out from one side of the trail to the other, because I have had to stop my bike while going pretty fast in order to avoid hitting a dog or hitting the line that's from one side to the other of the trail, which is not cool. Pretty windy out here. Fairly windy. It normally is this time of the year. Plus we're right by Cook Inlet. So large body of water. We're at Earthquake Park. So let's look at some of the signs they have here. So, the Good Friday quake on Friday, March 27th, 1964 at 5:36 p.m. One of the most devastating earthquakes to hit North America struck Alaska, measuring 9.2 on the Richter scale. So it was centered in the Prince William Sound, 80 miles east of Anchorage. The earthquake exploded with a force greater than the eruption of Mount St. Helens, and 1,000 square miles of the Earth's surface was vertically and horizontally displaced. The Good Friday earthquake lasted over 4 minutes, shaking, cracking, demolishing much of the most highly developed and populous area of Alaska. So the epicenter is right there. Here we have Anchorage in this general area, Matsu Valley out here, then the Seward Peninsula. So yeah, you have the continental plate and the Pacific plate. Pacific plate is going under the continental plate. So here we have the area of uplift and the Aleutian Trench right here in the Gulf of Alaska. Yeah. And yeah. So let's go over here, see what they have to say about this. Turnagain Heights Slide, Bootleggers Cove Clay. So pre-quake bluff area was up here. This is where it had been before the earthquake. And then once the earthquake happened, all this is clay. All of that fell basically into the ocean. So you're standing on the edge of the Turnagain Heights Slide, the largest and most destructive landslide in Anchorage. 90 seconds into the Good Friday earthquake, an 8,000-foot strip of bluff, 1,200 feet wide, began cracking apart into large blocks which slid towards the Cook Inlet. With a savage and grinding roll, the slide transported some homes 500 feet seaward and broke apart or crushed other homes. Residents rushed outside their homes only to be thrown to the ground as the blocks pulled apart and heaved around them. Others were trapped in their homes. The slide movements continue for 90 seconds after the earthquake stopped shaking Anchorage. Over 12 million cubic yards of sand, clay, and gravel slid towards the inlet. 75 homes were destroyed and 4 people perished. A tsunami warning, a tale of two cities. So the epicenter, Anchorage, and Seward is on the Kenai Peninsula here. Valdez is up here. So more devastating than the Good Friday earthquake itself, the seismic sea waves or tsunami that followed caused the major loss of life and property in Alaska. Tsunamis are generated by the sudden upward movement of the seafloor along the rupturing fault. These waves can travel thousands of miles and can strike low-lying coastal area hours after earthquake with violent force. In the Good Friday earthquake, some areas like Anchorage were barely affected by tsunamis. Other coastal communities with different topography like Chiniga, Kodiak, Seward, and Valdez suffered complete ruin. Sharing in grim destructive power are waves generated by submarine landslides along coastal areas where huge volumes of water are rapidly displaced by soil debris. These waves occur during or immediately after an earthquake and can be 30 to 50 feet in height, as high as a large tsunami wave. So, yeah. And bold, the earth did quake and the rocks rent. So, here we have pictures of downtown Anchorage. Looks like 4th Avenue right here. And Government Hill School north of downtown Anchorage. And the south end of the railroad area. And Turnagain Heights Slide, which is West Anchorage. The gruesome dance of the earthquake finally stopped, leaving much of downtown Anchorage in ruins. In 4 minutes of violent shaking, many buildings, roads, and waterfront structures were destroyed. On 4th Avenue, Anchorage, Main Street, commercial buildings and pavement dropped as much as 15 feet. Some multi-story structures were able to withstand the long duration of shaking, while others crumbled and crashed to the ground. The weekend following the earthquake was punctuated by 55 strong aftershocks, some over 5.0 on the Richter scale, which kept Anchorage residents on edge. Despite the massive property damage, only 9 people perished in Anchorage. Time of day, moderate winter temperatures, and lack of subsequent fires kept the losses to loss of life low. Measuring the magnitude of damage, the Good Friday earthquake destroyed or severely restricted all forms of transportation, utilities, and communications over a large portion of south central south central Alaska. Kodiak Kings. Anyway, communications and utilities, roads and ports and airports were all damaged. So this is an area where homes used to be built. But because of the earthquake, they're not permitted to build so close any longer. So anyway, that's just information about discovering the Imperial Trail area. Riches of the North. Beluga whale, silver or coho, pink or humpy, red or sockeye, dog or chum, king or chinook. Those are the those are the names of the salmon in Alaska. It's called the silver or a coho. Silvers are the last salmon to spawn in Alaska rivers and creeks. These fish range in length from 22 to 38 inches and weigh from 6 to 15 pounds. Pink or humpy. A pink is the smallest Pacific salmon range in size from 18 to 25 inches long and 2 to 6 pounds. Red or sockeye. The red salmon is the most important commercial fish. Red or sockeye. The red salmon is the most important commercial freshwater fish. Reds range in length from 22 to 30 inches and weigh 6 to 11 pounds. Dog or chum, dog salmon, are an important source of food for native peoples. These salmons range in length from 22 to 32 inches and weigh 8 to 12 pounds. King or chinook. The king is the largest Pacific salmon and, like the red salmon, highly prized by sport fishermen, ranging in length from 35 to 55 inches. The king salmon can weigh anywhere from 15 pounds to a record-breaking 120 pounds. So there's, out here in the distance, in the far distance, when the weather is really nice, you'd be able to see Mount Foraker, which is 17,400 feet. It's off to the left of Mount McKinley. Mount McKinley is 20,320 feet. And you would be able to see them here on really clear days. They would be way off in the far distance, but you could see them from here, which is quite amazing. Quite amazing. So I'm going to continue on with my walk. The coastal area, which is called the Tony Knowles Coastal Trails, is quite an achievement for this city. I don't know of any other cities that have like a recreational trail that goes for miles and miles and miles for people to recreate, bike, run, ski during the winter, and snowshoe and hike. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's such a beautiful thing that Tony Knowles, who was the former governor at one time, had them create this beautiful trail system. Hello. And that's the one good thing that Tony Knowles did bring to the city, was this coastal trail. And I mean, they named the coastal trail after him because he's the one that got the funding for this and had all the authorizations go through in order for them to create this amazing trail. Looks like there had been some high winds here. There's a lot of trees that I seen broken. The branches off the top have been broken off. There's quite a few of those trees around. Such a beautiful area. I really enjoy it out here. The best thing about Anchorage, I think, is this coastal trail, in my opinion. Here we are, back at the parking lot. Yeah, it's pretty cold. The wind is pretty strong. Oh, man, it's cold out here. Oof.